Oregon that you wanted to clean up?
Execution and just, missed tackles. I feel like we've been tackling better. That was probably the most missed tackles we'd had all year. We knew that they were going to be tough to tackle, but just all three levels that just showed up all game. Just too many missed tackles.
How do you improve that?
The same thing you do every single week. You keep on emphasizing it. You drill it. You practice it. You put emphasis on the type of backs, the type of receivers, and just got to put as much of emphasis on it as you can.
In the last week of the regular season, how do you feel like just generally progress of this defense went over the course of the season? Do you feel satisfied with how much it's improved?
No, I feel like there's stuff that we all want to improve more on. I think there's areas that we improved each week. There's other areas that we improved and then we regressed, and we improved and then regressed, and that's the thing. Especially in the Big Ten, you have to improve every single week. You can't be the same team week 10 that you are in week 3. And in some areas we did that, but not enough areas.
How do you feel like coaching this defense was maybe a different experience than the defense last year?
Just younger group. You saw more progress with them individually, but then just from a teaching standpoint, having to really scale it back and be the foundation, because you have a lot of kids who hadn't played in college ball yet.
Do you feel like that scaling back hurt this defense at any point in terms of execution, especially?
No, I feel like it helped, if anything, but maybe we should have scaled back more.
How do you get more out of the pass rush the last 2 games? How do you get more out of the pass rush the last 2 games?
Situationally, when we have the opportunity to get after them, we have to take advantage of those. Some of the teams we've been playing, there wasn't a lot of opportunities for drop back pass. When there is, though, you have to take advantage of it. And it also helps, getting them behind the chains. And that's something the past 2 weeks we haven't gotten into the third down situations or even the second downs that allow that.
How do you feel like the 3 losses this season, have kind of galvanized this team?
I feel like we've learned from them all. There's been a lot of good, but then there's also been a lot of stuff that we had to grow from. So in a ways, it's brought the team and defense closer. But like I said, you just need to be more consistent.
What did you see from Kennedy Urlacher with some increased snaps last couple of weeks?
He was playing fast. The one thing he's going to do, he's going to hit, he's going to tackle. It was good to see him out there and just to get his first start. It wasn't an imperfect game. There was some stuff communication-wise and just making sure him and CP are on the same page. But for his first start, I thought he did a good job.
When you talk about scaling things back on defense, what do you mean exactly? What sort of things have to be more simple, or can you not do when you are scaling things back?
Well, I just think when you, as far as just when you're in teaching the kids, it's a little different when you're teaching an 18-year-old than when you're teaching a guy that's been at 2 or 3 schools, that's already played a bunch in college ball. So when it comes down to techniques, when it comes down to things that you assume that they know, when it comes down to teaching them fronts and coverages, it's a difference between, me teaching you as if you don't know anything versus you have some type of a background, and I'm just telling you how we do it here.
With that context, what lessons have you learned this year about teaching?
I feel like I became a better teacher. I feel like every year you have to find ways to grow and learn, but just different ways to install, different ways to get these guys to take it from the meeting room to the field, whether it's walkthroughs, whether it's doing stuff segmented, anything you can do.
What stands out to UCLA in their offense?
The first thing stands out, the quarterback obviously has a great knack of extending plays. And anytime a team does that, has a defense, obviously that allows you to create negative plays. So you have the opportunity to get sacks, but they also have a lot of explosive plays. Most of his explosive runs are in the pass game. A lot of their explosive passes are in play extension. So just, the play never being over, having to contain the quarterback, tackle in space, but stay on top in coverage. And it's all game, all down distances.
What have you seen from Alex Graham lately? Only double-digit defensive snaps the last couple of weeks.
He's been getting better and better. We worked him in the slot. He's been taking some snaps at safety. He's a smart kid, and we're super excited about his future here.
What do you feel just in general about the future of the defensive front? I know that was such a focus coming into this season. Having gone through this season now, how is that your feeling about that group changed? What do you feel like it needs to do to improve in the future?
Right now, we're just focused on this week, and then after in this week, kind of just assessing the season and then saying, okay, what are the key steps in really each room that we need to take that next step in.
That inside linebacker room, what have you seen kind of late development, and then also kind of the next steps there?
Dez has been playing good. We've been trying to get Jay Walk out there more. Been trying to rotate the guys more just to keep guys fresh. But I feel like Dez has been getting better and better each week. Again, it's not imperfect, but you see him and things that we emphasize. You see him taking those steps. And then Jay Walk's going to be a hell of a player. We just need to get him as many reps as we can.
Seems like we noticed EG a little bit less, like down the stretch of this season. I guess I wanted to see what you've thought about his season as a whole, maybe how it's been different than maybe even last season.
Last year we had more depth in the inside back room, so we got to move him around a little bit more. He played more on the edge. This year it's been more off the ball and in the slot. And then just as the season goes on, he played a lot of snaps. So guys start getting banged up, and we want to, especially in that room, we want to keep those guys as healthy as we can. So the more guys in that room you can play, the better. So Jay Walk, his progression has helped a lot.
What do you need to see from Tamir and Newbie going forward to get on the field more on defense?
Just consistency in practice, and they've had a good week of practice so far. But it all starts out here. A lot of the stuff that it shows up out here is going to show up on game day.
Hopefully, I'm not looking too far ahead, but at what point do you start having individual meetings with players, talk about what happened this season and maybe what's going to happen in the future with them?
Usually, that the following week after the game, we'll get the schedule from head coach, and they'll meet with the position coach. They'll meet with me, and they'll meet with head coach as well.
Let's do one more.
This is now your third time coaching this game, second time with USC.
Yes.
How fun is it to coach in this inter-city rivalry?
It's fun, you can just feel the importance of it. All the, not just the kids from LA, but the kids that aren't from LA. You can tell they really buy into it, not just here, but there as well.
Thank you, Coach Lynn.
Thanks,